Hi, my name is Sarah Shira, also known as Imagine Landscapes, and in this video I'm going to be doing a short little tutorial for picking up stitches at the base of the spikes or starting the spikes for the Oh Gnome You Didn't pattern that I designed. When it first releases, it will be a mystery pattern, and then it will be all combined at the end and put out as a single pattern. So depending on where you are when you find this, you may find the pattern in clues or not. This is clue 2 if you're here for the mystery part of the gnome. We've knit the ribbing and the solid part or the straight part of our hat, and now we've increased a little bit, and now it's time for clue 2 to switch, and then clue 2 switch needle sizes and to switch sort of approaches. So I will be using these needle sizes to go up. You will notice, those of you who know these kinds of needles, that I am not using the recommended needle sizes, and that's because I am a loose knitter. So I will be going from a 2.0 millimeter needle to a 2.5 millimeter needle to get the spikes a little looser as we want in the pattern. So the directions say first knit across spike 1 and changing needle sizes. Well, that's nice and easy to do. I just use my new needle size and I grab those stitches and I just knit my way across needle 1. That will get me 18 stitches, because each needle right now, if you are knitting it on DPNs, will have 18 stitches on it. If you are knitting this with another method from in the round, I'm assuming that you will have placed stitch markers or something in between that, but you're looking for 18 stitches to be knit across. All right, so we have all of needle 1 knit onto the new needle size, so I can put this needle away. Now the directions have us put the rest of the stitches on waste yarn. So I've got my yarn needle here, and we're just going to thread them. It goes a lot faster if you kind of pop them off here. You will find that with small circumference needles, the yarn needle is sometimes even bigger than the needle you're using. So threading it through on the needle won't work. But if you do as I'm doing and kind of crowd the stitches to the tip and then just let them pop on, not only is that nice and easy, it's faster, and it will help you use the needle even though it's so large. All right, so that's another needle taken care of. And then I've got one more. If you get nervous at the idea of popping them off, you can just sort of put the yarn needle below the needle. There's a little bit of room there. Usually I can get about 3 stitches at a time if I'm doing it that way. And then I just kind of hop them off like that. Get rid of that needle and my yarn needle. Now, we've got some ends that are sort of flopping around. What you can do is just push them through the hat, and that will just kind of keep them out of the way as you are working. So we have 18 stitches on one needle, but that is not going to let us knit in the round. So we simply take those 18 stitches and now we put them onto 3 needles, 6 stitches per needle, using the new sizes. Otherwise, the spikes won't be as floppy as you want them to be. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, nope, that's 7. All right, so I've got 6 on each of 3 needles. Nice and clacky because they're metal needles. Now what we need to do is get ready to knit in the round. So I'm going to arrange it so that the yarn, or the needle with the yarn coming off of it, is at the back. I'm holding the yarn and I've got them arranged in a triangle, and I'm just going to bring my needle through that first stitch, knit, and knit around. I'm going to knit rounds 26 through 33 of the hat will just be stockinette. So I will just knit and knit and knit, and then there will be some decreases, and then I will hop the video forward and we will talk about how to pick up stitches at the base of the second spike, both getting them off the yarn and then also how to pick up from the first spike, and then we'll do the same thing for the third spike. So it will be a little while for me, but through the magic of video, it will be very soon for you. All right, I've got my spike. Isn't that fun? I will show you how to bury the ends when I am doing the third spike. So come back for that. So the instructions now say for spike number 2, pick up the next 18 stitches. Now on the first spike, we actually had we'd knit those, and we had switched needle sizes, so we didn't have to worry about how big the needle was. If when you are picking them up you find this is too snug, that's totally fine. Just grab the old smallest needle size and use it to pick the stitches up, and then when you are knitting 2, 4, 6, you just knit with the new size, and that makes the switch happen. All right, the last 6 stitches. I like to pick up the stitches and then pull out the waste yarn. I just feel like that's the whole point of the waste yarn. So I've got the end that I know I don't want to move. The other end is the one I want to pull out. So what I'm going to do is pinch it between my thumb and my middle finger here inside. And then using my 4th needle, I am going to grab this and just pull it through those 18 stitches. So now these stitches do not have waste yarn in them. The waste yarn is only on the last 18 stitches. I'm going to tuck it back into the hat. And here we have 18 stitches ready to be joined and knit in the round. So the instructions have us knit across all of those and then pick up a stitch, and that's the part I want to show you. All right, here we are. We've knit all the way across all 3 needles. Now we've got 3 needles wanting to join in the round, but first we have to pick up a stitch. So I'm going to get the tail out of the way from that one and get the working yarn over here. All right, so it is possible to pick up using the bar here, or you can just plunge your needle through and do sort of a pick up and knit maneuver. It depends on what I'm feeling like. I have done both. Let's do the picking up from the bar. So what I want to do with my 3rd needle here, I'm going to put down my 4th for the moment. I'm going to pick this up, and then picking up my spare needle again, I'm going to just turn it so that it's almost like I'm doing a make one right. No, make one left. All right, so I've picked it up. Let me show you again. I've picked it up from front to back, and now I'm just going to turn it. I find that easier than picking it up back to front. And now I have a stitch that's twisted but needs to be knit. So I'm going to put my needle through that. Knit it. That will hopefully close it up a little bit. The whole point of picking up stitches here is to give us something to, so that there's less of a gap here where these 3 spikes will meet in the center for us to close up when it's time to sort of tidy up the ends. So I hope that makes sense. You just need to pick up an extra stitch, and then you're going to work the 2nd spike exactly as for the 1st spike, with the obvious thing that we are going to need to decrease away this extra stitch. So the first thing you're going to do is knit all the way to the end, the last 2 stitches, knit that together, and then follow the same directions for spike 1. All right, I am done 2 spikes, and it's time to pick up and knit. I've worked around, I've put the stitches back on the needle and then worked 1 row or 1 round. I've got the tail that I joined. I left it a bit long so that I have something to tidy up the holes at the end. We are picking up stitches to avoid holes, but we probably will have some tidying to do at the end. Before I do the picking up of stitches from the base of spikes 1 and 2, I wanted to take a moment to show you what is happening here. So see how this stitch is just really stretching out? I'm gonna take that back off. So rather than just knitting it, because that's really going to open up as a big gaping hole, I'm going to knit that through the back loop, but even that won't be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like twist it a couple times. Now this did not happen. Let me just redo that for you. What I was doing was, rather than just knitting it through the back loop, I picked it up and I twisted it so that it's twisted, and then I went through the back loop again so that it's sort of double twisting. This did not happen the first time I did this, so this is sort of an extra tidbit. What happened was a bunch of my tutorials got fried on and erased, so I'm redoing this. So I've actually had to like cut a frog back and undo this thing and some other work that I can't talk about because it's a secret glue. So this was not like that to begin with. So, but I'm just taking this opportunity. So we now have to pick up stitches at the base of spikes 1 and 2. On spike 2, when I picked up stitches from this one, I showed you more of like a make one style of picking up a stitch from the base of something, but let me show you a more traditional style. In a more traditional style, you simply place your needle tip through a spot that looks like when you do it, it won't open up to a big gapey bit. At the base of a spike like this, it is less perfect. If you were picking up along a ribbing band or something like that, there's a very precise place where you're going to be putting your needle tip, but this is not that. This is a toy, which is why your skills on button band picking up might not be the same, and why I'm shooting this video. So for this one, we've got kind of this, it's sort of broadening on either side of a center stitch here. So what I don't want to do is pick up in this gapey bit or this gapey bit. So I'm actually going to go in the center of this V and make sure I'm going through all the way. I'm going to grab the yarn and pull it through, and so now I have 6 stitches on the first 2 needles, and then I will have 8 on this needle, and we're going to spend 2 rows decreasing down to 6, and then we're going to work spike 3 the same way we work them 1 and 2. All right, so we've got our 3rd tip knit, and I'm going to show you how I fasten off and deal with the ends on the tips. We've just worked I-cord, so the yarn will be coming off the leftmost stitch. I thread it on a yarn needle, and all I do is I push the yarn just like or the stitches just like I would to work I-cord all the way to the end, and then I put the yarn through the stitches in the same order that I would knit them if I was doing I-cord. So from right to left, I just slide my needle through. That fastens those off, secures them nicely, and now, because this is such a sharp and spiky narrow thing, what I'm going to do for the tip is I'm simply going to create a loop. All right, I'm going to go through it twice. So I've got 1, I've got 2. I pull on my needle and I use my fingernails to kind of scooch that knot down. I scooch it right to the tip. And then all I'm going to do is take my needle and I'm going to drive it right down the center of the spike, like so. And I'm going to go below. You'll notice my yarn is fairly short. That's because the camera wasn't on when I was filming this the first time, so I've already cut this. But I'd like you to imagine that I'm going all the way through, and then I'm bringing it down, and then, no, we can do this here. All right, so we've got our yarn brought through, and all I do is I pull this a little tight right at the edge of the fabric. I trim it and it pops right back into that. It's not like it's going to be somewhere where someone's ears are going to get tickled by this end or something like that. This end is not going to bother anybody, and we've knotted it, so we're fine. Now we've got the spot where what we have left is the end from the 3rd spike. Now, what I have done is I've already dealt with the end from the 2nd spike under all of this. And what we want to do is we want to deal with some of these spots where there are these little holes that will show the stuffing. We'll show through those. And I'm just going to quickly show you how I sort of deal with those. Even when you're picking up stitches from the base of other things to try to minimize it, sometimes it's just inevitable that your stitches will go a little large or something will pull. So for this one here, for instance, it's not that big, but I still want to deal with it. So what I do is I think of the technique as lassoing. I hit the stitches around the hole in a couple of places. So I will go here, and I will go here, and then across here, And so I've got it, I started there and I grabbed it in 3 different places, and when I pull, it's like pulling on a lasso, and I take the area around the hole and I zip it together that way. So that's how I like to deal with holes in this sort of a join. So let's go over here. We've got quite a big one. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plunge my needle down into that fabric, and I'm gonna come up here. Okay, so we're gonna lasso around that again. So I don't like to grab the running, the bar between stitches. As you can see, they want to move a lot. They almost want to open up and make their own hole all on their own. So what I like to do is I like to grab the side of a stitch. So like one of the legs of the V. So I will grab this, and I will grab this, and this, and then I want to, since this one is a bigger one, I want to bring it back, and I'm going to go around to this one here. So let's see what happens when we pull on that little lasso. Yep, snugs right up, we're good. I've got some bits over here on the other side. So these ones are a little different. These aren't almost so much holes as bigger stitches. So let's get our yarn over there and see what we're gonna do. All right, here we go. My yarn just slipped out of my eye there. So I'm just gonna go through this, both legs of this stitch. We don't have many stitches to play with here. So I've gone through both legs of those. I'll go around this, or through this, scoop it up. Scoop this one up, and then I'm going to end up back there. Oh, no, haha. This is where I want to go, but you know what else I need? I need this to just stay put. This yarn just wants to slip out of this yarn needle so badly. It's a bit thin for this needle, but it shows up well on camera, so we are staying with this needle. And then, okay, we've secured that loop. All right, so it looks like we've dealt with any of the gappy bits that might show the stuffing. The stuffing or roving would be usually white, and we want to make sure that we don't have that contrast. So now I will plunge this through and weave in my ends, and all that leaves is time for me to block this hat and get ready for the next step. I'm Sarah Shearer, and I hope this tutorial helped you. Happy knitting.